Hi guys, and welcome to yet another video. Today's topic is about photography style, having a style in shooting and especially in editing. Is it important? Is it important to have a style? Does that help you grow as a photographer? Like some people say, that's really important. Other people, on the other hand, say that having a style and trying to force your style into everything you do is limiting, and it actually limits your growth as a photographer. Here's my take on that. First of all, you might notice a little bit different my haircut. After 70 days of not being able to go to get a haircut, this is what I came up with. And well, my mom doesn't really like it, and I managed to scare my 4-year-old daughter and the old lady next door, actually. But, you know, I think it's kind of cool. It looks hard. I look hard as fuck. But another thing that actually happened in this lockdown, in this 2 months at home, it has slowed my mind down a little bit, and that's not exactly bad. I'm very busy. I tour a lot, and I have very little time to do other stuff. So now I've been doing stuff I really needed to do, but I haven't done in a long time, like going through and organizing my photo collections, which was a mess. And with that, I actually did the last videos I did. If you've seen them, some of them are about that. How you can organize your photos and keyword them and do everything you need to do with your photos to be able to find them. How you can do that in Lightroom. There's a link in the corner if you want to take a look at that. But while I was organizing, I was able to see my progress both in photography and post-processing. Basically, since I started shooting, the evolution, what led up to the style I have today. Because I do hear from a lot of people that I have a recognizable style. People recognize my work when they see it. And people do say it as a compliment, and I do take it as such. But I wonder, is having a recognizable style necessarily a good thing? Does it mean that I'm consciously editing my photos the way I think they should look? Or am I just doing the same thing over and over again? I'm just editing like I always do, you know, getting things done on autopilot. I think a little bit of both is true. I don't think I copy anybody else's style, at least not consciously. Of course, I see some of the things other people are doing, and sometimes I like what I see and I adjust my edits. I'm not immune to my surroundings, but more so, I do like to experiment, just doing something, you know, playing around with my photo and see where it leads. I really never planned to develop my own style. That it was not a conscious thing. It was just something that happened over the years. Small adjustments here, little tweaks there, which unconsciously ended up in my workflow and made it what it is today. But I'm usually reasonably happy with my edits. This photo, for example, I shot this 7 years ago, something like that, and edited it, and I was happy with when I was done. I was like, wow, this is nice. This is good stuff. And I'm going to post this. I'm going to let the world see this. And now, I don't know. I'm not happy with this anymore. And this one, this is a little later. This is better, in retrospect, this is better. And I was really happy when I did that. But now it's like, yeah, we can do better than this, Ole. We can definitely do better with this. And today, now I'm happy with this. This is a relatively new photo. And so there's some process here. There's some progress. I have evolved both in my photography and my edits. I always think I could have done better, both with shooting and editing. And I like that feeling. I like that feeling when I look through my old stuff and I see, I used to like this, but I don't like it anymore. And it kind of makes me happy. It makes me happy to see and feel progress. Although many of my early photos still works for me, like this one and this one, I do like to re-edit them and give them new life. And I will probably do that over and over again as my editing style changes, as my taste of editing changes. On the other hand, I think there is something missing when I try to apply my style on a photo no matter what. Because if you force a photo into a pre-planned workflow, which in this case I call a style, I risk not taking into account what is special about each photo. Because I think each place, atmosphere, culture, history, and the overall vibe should dictate how I edit my photos, not just how I'm used to edit them. That shouldn't even be a factor. Here is a photo I edited with a heavy hand. It's warm, it's dramatic. I wanted to create a feeling of adventure, a place where you wouldn't be surprised to see a character from Game of Thrones walking by. And here's another one. This one has very little editing. It's cold and minimalist. I wanted the viewer to feel how cold it was that day, how fragile and unforgiving the overhangs over the river are, and what a disaster it would be to fall into it. Just the unfiltered beauty and danger of winter in Iceland. Sometimes less is more. And here I wanted to show the raw power of the Icelandic winter storm. It's trying to hide the mountain peak, but the mountain is fighting back. With a little help from the sun, standing out and refusing to give up. I choose high contrast black and white to emphasize the fight between light and darkness. And finally, this one, bright and peaceful scene. Subject is standing out with no supporting elements whatsoever, because sometimes the subject is just enough. Very little edit. I just, try to get the right for me bluish tone in it, and I brighten up the rock a little bit. The rock is bright and sharp, not dark and heavy. It's at peace. It's happy. Because when I edit the photo, the edit needs to support the story, the mood, the feeling, and even with landscape. I hear a lot that landscape, you cannot tell a story with landscape, it's how can you tell a story with a picture of a waterfall? I hear this a lot from professional photographers, and I have to respectfully disagree. And my take on this, that if your photo has nothing to say, there's no story there, it's a postcard. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with postcards. I shoot postcards all the time. But I like when I'm able to do something more meaningful for me than a postcard. Like the photos I just showed you, not everyone will see them the same way I see them. Maybe people will see something completely different, or some people may see nothing at all. These photographs are my expression of what I see and very often how I feel. Because that's why I do photography, to express myself, to create something based on me. It shouldn't matter what other people think about my work. Of course it does somewhat. We all like to be recognized for what we do, to have people appreciate our work. But if I would only shoot for that, it would mean very little for me, personally. That would be more about ego, to get those likes, to grow on social media. Yes, I would like to grow faster on social media, simply because it's good for business. But I want to grow on my terms, by presenting work that I'm proud of, not just stuff that I know will produce likes. So to bring it home, I do think that having a style is overrated. It is somewhat sometimes important for commercial purposes, but it depends basically on what you want with your photography. And I find having a style is somewhat repetitive workflow. You're trying to shoot the same thing. You're trying to edit the same way. For me, it slows me down. It doesn't challenge me to do new things, to experiment, because I'm always trying to be within a format I've decided for myself. And I think these boxes we sometimes put ourselves in are sometimes too small for us as artists, as a way to express ourselves. But I hope this made sense for you. I hope you enjoyed this video and took something from it. If nothing else, just by thinking about what you're doing as a photographer, do you have a style? Is it important for you? I would love to hear your thoughts about this subject in the comments. Thank you for watching and goodbye.